welcome, friends of fantasy, legend, and lore. I'm Lore Master Loris, and today, once again, I would like to take you on an adventure into Middle-earth, here in our usually D&D group. And since I'm borrowing time from our Dungeon Master, I would like to get him, I will pass on the word staff to him very fast, because Ken has a short announcement to make for our usually this year the home of our D&D group, the I. It's called a one shot, but yeah, it never is a one shot. But the way at the going at the moment, after the first episode, I think it's gonna be a three shot, something like that. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Yes. And this is episode 2, We Folk and Breefolk, which is called, and we shall see how far or where we go to from here. First of all, for our listeners, welcome to this adventure, and for our players, please note down for our last adventure. I don't know exactly how we're going to do this with the experience yet, because this is also new terrain for me, but I would like you to note down 50 experience points for all of you just for surviving the first part. There were no fights. You did more or less vanquish a Barrow White in this first episode, kind of like looking back now on what happened in the first episode. But since it really was Tom Bombadil, the host in this episode, he more or less took care of that. So I can't let you. And it was the White wasn't killed; it was just scared off, more or less. So this way, but just for knowledge and surviving, you all get 50 experience points.
Neat.
So then, without much ado, let me set the scene for you. We are at the moment you've after Tom had pointed you the right northern direction, and the weather is better now. It's not raining anymore, and you are all on the correct road, which heads you toward. And you hear a little bit of like a town might sound. You have the nightly sounds of crickets chirping, and maybe the one or the other night bird, maybe an owl hooting every once in a while. But the weather is better. The moon is shining down, and you see in front of you, not far away now, you approach the gates of Bree, and the gates are set in the ancient hedge of Bree, which is a large hedge, and of course the town's stone wall, which surrounds the town of Bree, the small town. But you see in the moonlight, well, put it this way, Why don't you all do a perception roll for me? I can let you see what you see in the moonlight. Yeah, I think that would be the best as a perception roll.
That's not good. I have 11.
11,
16.
okay. 16. All your stats are gone. But I think as a Dunadan, as a ranger, you probably have probably some extra kind of perception in there. Our Rohirrim rider kind of squints his eyes and says, I'm not too sure, but I think those gates are closed. And the ranger admits also seeing that once you reach it and you see it in the lanterns and lights are coming from the other side, but there's just the moonlight, and you see that the gates of Bree are closed for the night. And if you believe the old sayings that you've heard before, the gates of Bree remain closed until the next day on sunrise, because as soon as the sun has set, they don't want to let anybody inside the town. So you're standing in front of a closed gate. What do you want to do?
Well, it seems we're a bit late. Is
Time wise, let's see. You met up. Let's see if I remember. We said something. It was like the sun had gone down. The rain, the moon came out, and it's not the middle of the night. It's more like very late evening, probably around 9ish, something like that. After meeting up, because the whole Barrow White thing that didn't take that long. And Tom, remembering back, Tom told you that if you head to Bree and if you go to the Prancing Pony and show the he if you remember he said show the innkeep one of the lilies that he gave you, then he could probably put you up to the night because it'll put a good because he knows the innkeep there. So, but old Tom probably doesn't remember or think much of what men folk do in Bree, and maybe there is no gate that is not open for Tom Bombadil, but for you, the gate is closed. You see a closed gate.
Should we try knocking? Maybe
yeah, I would
someone will
suggest
open.
that. Yeah, I would try that.
Okay, so
I'll
you're gonna
pound against the
okay.
gate.
So our Rohirrim warrior pounds against the gate, boom, boom, and there's a little peephole, and which opens up, and you hear a young face looks out, and you just hear a fast, "No entry after dark. No one allowed in after dark." And the peephole closes again. Choom.
Okay, let me try. I knock again.
Okay. So the young lady knocks again. It opens up.
I'm gonna
Open.
give the best little innocent, helpless girl impression.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Perfect. Okay, one moment. Let me see very fast here. Well, I need a picture. Where am I? Here I am. Let me just add a picture here to our Slanted Dice War Room. Who you see because the gate opens up, and at first you hear the young voice say again, like, "I told you before. There's no one is allowed after dark. There's a ooh, hello," and he
But it's
looks
so
out.
dark out here and I'm really afraid.
Oh, who are you? And you see a young face peer out. It's a young
Oh,
lad.
he's a cutie.
Yeah, he's probably around. Maybe he's probably seen 16 or 17 summers. Not quite a man. He doesn't have much stubble on his chin, and but he has something like a gatekeeper's helmet on, which is way too big for him, and he's standing there leaning on a kind of like these pile axes, these hellebards, and looking out, trying to look out into the dark, and he sees the young woman. He says, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing out this late, young lady?"
Hi, my name is Inga and I kind of got lost on the way. That's why I'm so late. Luckily, I met those travelers over here and they helped me come here. But
Yeah, he kind of looks off to the side. He sees this ranger all of a sudden, like rangers do. They come out of the darkness all of a sudden, standing there. And Tad probably has not seen many Rohirrim warriors before, so he's kind of taken back. And he says, "Oh, a ranger and a warrior. You have interesting companions." Well, I must tell you, Inga, was it? Yes. Harry gave me my orders himself. He said, "No stragglers after dark, be it Breefolk or visitors from the Shire. I'm sorry, you're going to have to pitch a tent somewhere or come back at sunrise. I'm not allowed to let anybody in."
it's really scary out here on my own, and I don't know how to make a tent or what. And what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to sleep at the Prancing Pony tonight.
Um, I want you to roll for persuasion. Inga for charisma, and our Rohirrim warrior. He's probably would more use something that be. Is there something like not to scare off, or what would you say? Intimidation. Yeah.
Not really good with that. I
You're not
can
really
try
good with
person. I'm expected in Bree because my horse is stabled there, so you wouldn't want to deprive a man of his horse, right?
Oh no. Yes, I understand. And you said you had rooms at the Prancing Pony, Inga?
Well, Tom Bombadil gave us this flower and he made sure that we're taken care of when we come here.
No, wait a minute. Tom Bombadil, are you talking about the ghost of the wild? I mean, like, I mean that's like Father Christmas. I mean, it's I've never heard about. I mean, that's and he's absolutely flabbergasted now. This is all he's afraid of the Rohirrim. He's got big respect for rangers, and at the same time yeah. Oh, jeez. And he's at the same time he's kind of falling for Inga because he thinks even though she's very young, she still looks rather cute to him. And did our Rohirrim have a persuasion thing roll?
What do you want me to roll?
What's your highest? You got a high charisma?
Yes.
Yeah, try.
I do get like double proficiency
Oh,
bonus
good. Well,
for persuasion.
Do that.
What?
Maybe.
I also only rolled a 10.
Okay.
I'm not intimidating. Like I'm an old man with a beard.
Okay. Oh, he has the highest respect. Tad seems to be a young, like I said, he's a youngster, and he seems to be old Harry is a gatekeeper who more or less Tad is he's probably either the first or second time that he's keeping the gate, so he doesn't want to get in trouble, but at the same time he doesn't want to get in trouble not letting the right people in too, so he's kind of in a bind, so you could probably persuade him. So what did you roll?
I rolled a 21 in total.
Oh, well, perfect.
Oh, what?
Perfect, yeah. Well, Tad kind of looks at all three of you and said, "Well, if you don't tell Harry, I'll let you in. But if you said you have rooms at the pony, or if you say you can get to the pony, then I would go there right away. Because if any of the other gatekeepers see this, or they pick up stragglers, they'll have my guts for garters. I tell you that. So you hear the. Yeah, so you hear a heavy latch being slid aside, and the heavy gates of Bree open up, and you look upon, you see this young man. Now you see really how young he is. Tad seems to be really not older than 17 or something, and wearing an armor which is probably not his armor. It's just a breastplate, which probably fits it probably is supposed to made for another man. The old halberd, they've given him an old weapon which is mended at the bottom and it's all rusty. So whoever gave him this post, they probably don't think he's. And he hurriedly closes up the gate again and says, "Okay, like I said, don't tell anybody about this, and I won't tell either. And if you wanna hurry up and get towards the pony, it's straight ahead. You'll see it just a few houses ahead on the main street. You can't miss it. There's a big sign with a of green with a pony on it. So you won't be able to miss it." And he more or less closes the gate behind you, and then goes back into a niche at the side where there's a yeah, you could say like a guardhouse or something, which is there, and sending you the picture of Bree, which you see the city of Bree, or the town of Bree. It's more than a village. It has a lot of houses. Typical, the kind of us here in Germany, we're used to seeing little cities like this. These are like any old city in especially in Bavaria looks like this. You have the old houses. They're lit. You have candle lights and lights with them. There's not many lanterns, but there's no one on the streets. The streets seem to be empty because everybody seems to be inside doing their business. You hear a bit of laughter coming from houses, talk, and if you head down the main street, you also see, which I'm also adding here. One moment. Yeah, are you going to be walking more of the left side or the more of the right side of the street? I just have to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the left side of the street, you head towards it. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a movement, but it's not to worry. It seems to be a kind of an old drunk who's just hiding there, munching on a carrot, and he kind of looks at you, smiles, and kind of tumbles back into his disturbed sleep, which he was holding there. But there's nothing else there until yes, a little thing. He's in every pre-town, yeah. And after a few strides, you hear music and laughter and lots of town coming from what looks like a tavern. And you see out front of this tavern a sign of a green meadow and a white horse or a pony, and underneath it is written in common speech, the Prancing Pony. And the gates seem to be open. Their light floods out onto the now still wet streets from the rain, but there is of course not raining anymore. And Bree itself seems like a sleepy little village, but you hear if there's any evil about, no one seems to be worried about it because everybody seems to be, especially at the Prancing Pony, there seems to be a lot of seems to be a very a hearty inn, or an inn with a lot of people. So you're standing outside the famous Prancing Pony.
Yeah, maybe have like a warm drink and some, I don't know, some hearty stew to warm up from this cold encounter.
Okay. Okay.
Do I know where my horse is stabled?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet,
Okay.
but one moment. Good, I'm glad you said that because I've had I had that written for you. Yeah, I'll have that. You'll find that out very soon.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh heck, now I close my notes. One moment. The law master.
Yes.
Okay. Then here I am. Yeah, as you enter the inn, you hear the booming voice of the innkeeper shouting orders. There's a smoky atmosphere. You smell a mixture of pipe weed and pipe smoke, but also different types of meats, probably birds, chickens, pheasants, things like that, but also pork and maybe some ham or something roasting. You see one or two barmaids running past, and the place seems to be packed. And standing behind, more or less, when you walk into, there's like kind of like a well, not a bar, but it's like a almost like a reception. And you see and you hear the booming voice of the innkeeper shouting,
"Where's that woolly-footed stable boy? We've had that couple from Staddle that need a room, and their horses need tending to. What madness made me think that a halfling could be a good stable boy? You're just as useless as that son of mine. Where is he now? Barleyman! Barleyman, come here, Barley!"
As he screams, you see a chubby boy, maybe about 12 years old, carrying 2 mugs of ale, and he approaches the man. As you see him standing behind them, he says, "Come in, da. Sorry, but I was listening to one of Harry's story. Did you know that he killed himself a troll? He just took that big axe and..." He turns around as if he was gonna show his father how that swing went, and he sees you. He interrupts his tale and sets down the tray with glasses, wipes his hands on a rather moist-looking apron, which seems to be soaked with beer and soup and whatever, and just kind of looks at you first. And let me send you, waits for your reaction. And at the same time, let me send you a picture of little Barley.
Yeah, by the way, I just noticed that my mic was probably off for the stream until up until this point.
Oh,
Which I
don't know.
fixed now.
Okay, well, we have,
So we should be good, but it might be a little bit off.
we shall hear.
So hello, world, for those that haven't heard me.
Okay, and there should be little fat Barley. You should have him now.
Mhm.
That's how he looks like, and he comes up to you, looks at you, and says, "Ooh, hello, who are you?"
Customers. And what's this about the troll you were just talking about?
Oh, Harry, he killed himself a troll not just 2 days ago. Yeah, done it with his axe. He's here today. You can see him. He and his big axe. Oh, he's a big fellow of a man, I tell you that. And are you look? Do you need rooms or arrangement? My dad, Barnabas Butterbear, will take care of you. I'm Barley, by the way. Da! And he screams over his shoulder, "Da! We got more. There's more of them at the door." And then you see old Butterbear come behind his This is Barnabas Butterbear, and he looks like he's wielding. He reaches under the bar and he pulls out the long handle of an axe, and he's wielding it in his hand like a club. And he says,
"Where they at? I told that ferny fellow and his pimply son to stay away from my inn. I don't need his troubles and his funny friends from the east, and
he sees you, and then all of a sudden drops the club and says,
"Evening. Oh, sorry. Barley," he says to his son, "you dunce of an ass. Why didn't you say we have guests? Help them with their gear, and if they have any horses, they'll help them too. I'm sorry about that. My Barley, he isn't quite here sometimes. My name is Barnabas Butterbear. How may I help you? You need lodgings? Just a meal. I got a fresh keg of ale on tap. I'm always busy, but I believe there are some hobbits from the west of Brandywine in the common room, sharing some samples of Old Toby, too, if you want to buy something of that. Old Toby. Now, wait a minute. What does that remind me of? And he seems to drift off in his mind, waiting more or less, thinking it to himself at the same time, waiting for an answer and more or less to find out who you guys are.
Well, good evening, Master. We're here for lodgings on one hand, and of course a warm meal, and maybe a pint or two for some of us on the other.
Oh, cool, of course. Oh, well, we can do that too. And I'm trying thinking what else. And at the same time, he kind of trying to remember. He's trying to remember something. He can't. He's somehow forgot. This is, by the way, old Barnabas there, standing there. I just sent you a picture. If you want to load that up, Ken. Mm-hmm. And he suddenly he looks over and he sees the Rohirrim standing there, and then he seems to remember, and he says, "Now wait a minute. That I know now. A warrior and a horse. That what it was? Yes. I know. It was old Toby Tobison. That's why, Toby from Archet. Excuse me, warrior. He brought me this letter here. He said to keep out watch for a dark-haired Rohirrim warrior. He also gave me a pouch of silver and told me to take care of a horse that he's brought to my stable. Oh, it's a beautiful beast, I tell you. Mark my word. Now, where did I put that letter? Barley, where did I put that letter for that horse boy, for that grim Rohirrim warrior? And Barley reaches behind his father, pulls it out, and says, "Here it is. Ninny-hammers, I had it in me burning in my ass pocket all the time. I'm sorry, sir. This seems to be yours." And he gives you a, it's more like a folded note. And I'm trying to, hopefully, this is very hard.
As soon as he mentions my horse, my face lights up, and I grab the letter from him.
Yeah, I'm trying. Let me see very fast. One moment. Let me copy this and I can send it to you so you can see. Either you can read it for yourself or you can share it with the group. One moment. Nachricht an Freon. And this is what it says. I sent it to you in the the chat.
Yeah,
Yes,
and,
I got it.
Eodith is just gonna say, well, Master Butterbur, if you have any vacant spaces in the tavern room, we might just like gather our bearings and sit down with a hot meal, and perhaps if you could lend us maybe a couple minutes of your time, because we are traveling folk and we do have some questions about the going-ons here and there, that would be very, very good.
Of course, he says. Of course. You know what? Just leave your packs right here by the door. Nothing's gonna be stolen. My boy Barley will take care of you. Let me see. You stay in the night. I'll fix you up with some rooms. And if you see a red-headed wild wench in the common room, that's me best barmaid, Daisy. She can bring you soup or ale or bread or might turn your head with her curves and a saucy tail, too. You better not. And he kind of whispers to you, better not have Miss Butterbur hear me talking like that. She'll have me guts for garters. Well, off with me to the common room. There's nothing better against the cold than a cold ale, some warm soup, and maybe a song or two by the time. And like I said, me boys will be taking care of you. And by the way, may I ask who sent you to the Prancing Pony? I mean, there's a lot of inns here. Is there anything special that anyone that might have sent you to us?
Yeah, I can't remember who put the stuff in. Like I said, my inventory, my character sheet is borked. I need to like refill it out. But whoever of us has the lily,
one of you must have a lily, which is kind of pressed and folded.
Might have been me, but yeah, we're gonna like.
Yeah, I think it was either you or the
silently basically pass that on without like looking around just to see if anybody's maybe watching or something. And then just like kind of hand it to him, just saying, "A fellow kindred spirit, sent us.
Ooh, well, I'll be damned. Put me in a dress and call me a queen. Old Tom seldom parts with his lilies, I know that. Oh, he must be really fond of you, travelers. Well, you know what?
So.
You shall have me best ale, me warmest beds, and an hearty breakfast for you, I tell you that. I can't take Lily as his payment, though, you know. Hang on to that. That's a good sign of that old Tom likes you. But for sure, you know what? A silver a night plus your tab for drinks in the common room, and we'll call it good. But we can talk about that in the morning. If you're good for Tom, then you're good for me. So just come on in. My boy will have you three. I believe 3 rooms. It looks like, because I don't think the young lady will be wanting to stay with these. There's 2 young ladies. I'm sorry. Yeah, with the rough gentleman. 3 separate rooms, or would you want to be sharing?
I'm good
No,
with the
3
separate room.
Yes, 3 separate rooms would be good.
Okay.
Would you point me towards the stables as well? I'd like to check on my horse first before
I tell you what, that horse is. I have never seen such a well-groomed horse, and it's been fed well. And I didn't know myself, but old Toby told me that it was a marshal of the Riddermark himself that gave him that letter, and he gave me enough silver, more than enough. I mean, I believe, and being you coming from old Tom and something, I tell you what, I believe that silver covers your nights as well too here, and all the ale that you can drink, because this marshal of the Riddermark, he seems to really, first of all, love his horses, and at the same time, he seems to have a very high potential hold of you, sir. But yeah, just follow. If you go out here, just when you came in, you take a left. There's a little kind of little narrow passageway going back, and you'll be standing right in the middle of our back gates here. And there you see we've got about there's probably stables for about 8 horses out there, and there'll be Nob should be out there. Little Nob, he should be watching out for your horse. If not, then call for my boy Barley, and he'll show you your horse. No problem, sir.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Yeah, I have to continue on. You know, everybody's calling me again. I'm coming, and he rushes off again, as if he's once again looking around, running the wrong way first, and turning around, running back again, and while he's running away, he kind of points inwards with one hand and says, "The common room, straight ahead." And to the Rohirrim, he points outward. Left and another left, and you'll find the stable, sir. And then he's off again.
Don't worry, Fulgrim. We'll save a space for you.
That would be most kind. Yes, I'll. If you excuse me for a moment, I'll.
Then
need
Inga
to check
and
on my horse.
myself will just make our way into the common rooms, look for an empty table to put down our cloaks and mantles.
Yeah. Okay. One moment. I have to get back. To get back into, here we are. So, and yeah, so you slowly, one moment. This is hard loading up things at the same time. I don't know, how do you do this, Ken, when you're DMing with pictures?
I don't load stuff into Discord. We use Foundry and stuff.
Foundry, yeah, that's true.
It's
Okay,
prepped.
It's not too much to load, but I do have 1 or 2 things which I wanted to show. Okay, one moment. Where is the common room?
Yeah, wherever we're splitting up, who's ever going first.
Okay, this is Barnabas.
So horses, huh?
Okay, well, we'll have to forego that. Okay, well then we'll just continue, and I can't load up. Somehow it's not working. Okay,
Aye.
so you enter the common room.
Aye.
Let me get out my book here. I need a little bit of information.
How full is it at this time?
Yeah, well, the common room is rather full. you see, if you look, you come in. First of all, it is very smoky. There's a lot of smoke, and there seems to be people be smoking pipes, and at the same time, there's like one or two open spit fires where meat is being roasted, and there's pots hanging on the side, and there's the one or two different serving wenches going back and forth, and you also see halflings which are serving. And if there's as you walk in, you see like Barnabas had told before, you see a wench coming towards you, and you're guessing this is probably Daisy, and she just says, "Well, good evening. Welcome to the Prancing Pony. A table for two, it looks like."
For 3 in total. We're waiting for a friend.
Oh yes, no problem. So just come on over. I'll show you. And she leads you to it looks like a table which is not quite in the middle of things. It's a little bit off to the side, but it's a good vantage point for you because you can see the whole room. And
Yoris immediately kind of sits down with like her back to the wall so she can like face the room. And
matter of fact, Yorith, since you're sitting back and looking, why don't you give me a perception roll? I can tell you what of the patrons you see, because it's a crowded room.
While I fiddle around and try to light my pipe, which is hopefully not wet. That is hang on, plus 22 in total.
Oh, perfect. Well, as Daisy looks at you and just asks, ale, soup, anything? Can I bring you anything?
Yes to both for me and
yes
my
to
friend
both
as
for
well.
me as well.
Okay. And you said you'll be your friend. If he joins you, it should be no problem. You can.
I just put out a third serving as well. He should.
Okay, I'll bring you 3 ales and 3. I just put on some great ham hock soup, and I'll bring you some bread with that too, and maybe a piece of fruit or two we still have in the pantry. I'll see what we have in the pantry.
Maybe perhaps some tea to warm the bones as well.
Okay, I'll have it. I have some chamomile tea or some peppermint, or do you want some of these dark herbs tea? They have some dark herbs which are from the Westfold. They make a strong brew. It is, but it keeps you up at night.
I am perfectly fine with the dark herbal tea. I don't know for my friend here if she cares for something else.
Oh no, I'm fine with some ale.
All right, then just some dark tea for me.
Okay, dark tea, 2 ales, 3 soups, and something to munch on. I'll be right back. At the meantime, looking over to Forn, help me.
Fulgrim?
Oh, Fulgrim, yeah.
Not
Fulgrim.
Not Freon.
Yeah, no, I was going to say Freon. No? Fulgrim, you in the meanwhile head out. You take a left and another left as Butterbur said. There's lanterns lighting this, and it seems to be, and you automatically smell the smell which you know, of course, as a Rohirrim. You smell the horses, you smell a little bit of the dung, that hay, and it almost gives you kind of a twinge of to your heart, almost a little bit of a homesickness, remembering the halls of Meduselt, remembering the high meadows where the horses run wild. And you see not far, standing, leaning on a pitchfork and kind of resting from cleaning up, there's a small halfling standing there, and there's about 2 ponies and 3 horses standing in the stables.
Well, is my horse there as well? Do I?
You of course, you see your horse right away, and it seems that your horse also right away notices or smells his master and kind of lifts his head, looking, sniffing the air, and the halfling kind of turns around and says, Calm down, boy. Everything's okay. Your master will be here someday. He'll pick you up. I don't think he'll be waiting long. And then he sees you and says, "Ooh, hello. Can I help you?"
You must be Nob, right?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Nob. Yeah, we're all called Nob here. I'm Nob the younger. My dad is Nob the older, and if things keep going, my mom is gonna have another one. It'll be Nob the even younger. And he kind of sillily laughs, a typical little fruity hobbit laugh, and he seems to be even though he's a hard worker, he seems to be a very joyful soul.
I've heard you've taken care of my horse, and I point towards.
Oh,
mine.
yes, I must say, sir, such a beautiful animal. I've straggled it. I've always made sure they had the best of hay, and I've brushed him daily twice, and made sure that he has the most beautiful hair. I've never seen such a beautiful hair, and I believe so. We don't get much warrior horses, because he's got muscles where no other muscles are. I mean, we got these horses that pull the wagons. They've got muscles otherwise, but this must be a warrior horse. I tell you, sir, he was very hard to get close to, but I've given him apple once in a while. He seems to take a liking to me, but he won't let Bali get too close to him. No, I'm the only one that can take care of him. But he's been a good boy. Oh yes, a great boy.
It's good to know that you took good care of him. Thank you.
Of course, sir. By the way, I was paid in full, and Mr. Butterbur got the purse from thing. So I must really say, old Toby said that he got this from a marshal of the Riddermark. So, a marshal of the Riddermark here in Bree. I was like absolutely flabbergasted. But it's been paid in full. Everything's well, and I was glad to serve you, sir. And I'll take care of your horse as long as you want.
Oh, thank you. A marshal of the Riddermark, you say? How would someone like that be here in Bree?
I don't know. I mean, I never saw him. Old Toby said that he said it was, I can't remember the name, sir. I'm not good with names, but he said it was a tall man, and he would bore a shield with a horse on it, and he came with his horse and this horse and gave it to old Toby. And Toby said he would supposed to bring it to the Prancing Pony, and he did that right away. Toby's a good man, and he said he got the horse to save for a warrior, dark-haired, and I recognized you right away. I didn't have a name, but I don't think there's too many Rohirrim, as you call yourselves, come to picking up horses, I tell you that. So, but I wouldn't think I'd be giving it away, and I don't think, if you get closer to that horse, I don't think he would go with anybody else if he doesn't know him.
No, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't. I'll walk past him and go to my horse and say hello to him.
And of course, he nudges you and recognizes you right away. Lays his heavy head across your shoulder and kind of gives a little horsey snort like that, and is very happy to see you, and just kind of greets you, being glad to be. But as you can see, he's been well treated. He's doesn't look hungry or anything. He's been combed and he's been well kept.
That's good. Yeah, I'll spend some minutes with him, stroking his back, and yeah.
Okay. Little Knob says, "Oh, you know what? I have to get back inside and help us, Mr. Butterbur. He told me to go out and take care of things with the horses. But I see that if you're good with them, just close the gate, which is here on the side here, so that no one else can get in. And then I'm going to head to it. If you want to, you can just head in towards the way you came, and I think your friends will be in the common room and waiting for you."
Sure, I will take care of the gate. And thanks again for taking so good care of my horse.
It was an honor, sir. It was an honor. And he kind of bends lowly, like, you see, this halfling has never met royalty or a knight or anything. He's just absolutely, it's like meeting a hero. He just kind of smell, and he kind of waddles off and just talking to himself. He said, "I can't believe that. A Rohirrim warrior in Bree. Oh." They'll never believe that. Nob won't believe me, and little Nob won't believe me either. And he just kind of chortles himself and heads off to the inn. Meanwhile, while you're spending time with your horsey, the flirty wench Daisy brings you your ale, your soup, and whatever else you ordered, and looks, and you had a perception roll, and while you're waiting for this, you look around, and Yora sees the room is packed, but you can make out a stranger in the corner. He's smoking a long pipe. He seems to be dressed almost like a ranger, but you wrote this right away. Something's not quite fitting. The boots are wrong, and the cloak isn't the right type. He doesn't, he seems to dress like.
Does his the clothes that he's wearing, do they look like road worn, or?
That's the problem. They look too fresh. They look like someone has just put on he doesn't look like he's a weather beaten warrior or something. He just looks too fresh. But he's sitting there smoking his pipe and just kind of eyeing the room. And as you guys sit down, he kind of keeps looking at you.
Yeah, no.
Then at the other table, there's also a large farmer. He's cradling a mug of ale and seems to be almost crying in his beer. You also see a shifty-looking halfling who's eyeing you suspiciously, and he also seems to be looking at Inga with a kind of a sickening smile on his face, so it doesn't seem. And on the other table, you make out a very tall, bearded man. He's either a huntsman or a guard of sorts. He's almost looks friendly if it wasn't for that large axe that he has strapped to his side. And all the other patrons you see are men, halflings, a few dwarves. They're busy talking, drinking, eating, playing games or dice, or some of them have look like playing cards. Every once in a while, someone gets up and recites a poem or a song, much to the amusement of the crowd. Every time afterwards, there's either applause or laughter. And while you're looking at this, Wench Daisy comes back to your table and says, "Can I get you something else? Any more ale, more mead? Some information or something? We do have a full house tonight. I'll be popping in and out."
Say less. The fancy-clothed man in the corner over there. He's been eyeing us a bit suspiciously. Do you know where he hails from?
Well, that man, you know what? We just call him the Quiet One. He's been here for the last, probably every evening for the last 2 weeks. And I don't really don't know. He always pays his bills, and he seems to be a ranger, but if you ask me, he's too well dressed for a ranger. I mean, I know a lot of rangers, and I've known a couple of rangers very intimately, and she kind of smiles to herself, but he doesn't seem to be... I tell you, he's not working for his pay, There's not a drop of mud on him. I don't think he's ever seen the woods from the inside, I tell you that.
That's very peculiar indeed. Would you be able to maybe fetch Master Butterbur for us? I have one or two questions I would like to ask him.
Sure. I'll see if he has time. He's always up and about. But I'll go and she pops off.
We're here for most of the evening.
Yeah, and she pops off again and heads towards the front of the inn, looking for Butterbur. At the meantime, out at the stables, your horsey seems to be feeling very well.
Excellent.
There's nothing else really happening there. You hear the night birds once in a while, an owl or something, but nothing really happening out there. There's nothing of nothing strange or something. You just hear nightly noises, and of course the noise from the inn coming in.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that he's fine and doing well. And then, after a little while, I'll go back in, and of course I'll close the gate as not requested, and make my way to the common room.
Yeah. As you
And
come into the common room, yeah,
looking for the two ladies, and having a look around the room as well,
yeah.
just to see the general audience.
As you walk in and you see the your two ladies sitting at the side, they wave you over. You also see to the one side this stranger who's just refilling his pipe, looking kind of towards you. As your glance meets his, he turns around and looks away as if you caught him doing something strange. You also notice he's dressed like a Dunedain ranger, but it's almost like he's acting like a ranger. It's he doesn't have the way of a ranger. He's just he's wearing almost new clothes, so that doesn't quite fit. And you see you see a large farmer who's just now finishing up his beer mug and looking into, almost crying that his beer is empty, and he heavy sigh. He just drops a heavy sigh, and there's a large, probably a good 6 foot man sitting there stroking his beard. He kind of nods to you as you come in because he sees and also someone who probably can use an axe. He seems to be just kind of like just a friendly greeting, and a shifty looking strange halfling who almost goes back a little bit because he seems to be afraid of this grim looking warrior which just came in. And he's just kind of a pimply, ugly looking halfling who's just kind of, he just looks shifty. He's just like something that you couldn't be trusted. And your friends wave you over.
Yeah, I'll nod to the men that nodded towards me, and then make my way to the table and sit down.
So as soon as Fulgrim sits down, I ask...
Yeah, as Fulgrim wants to sit down, he accidentally bumps into to Daisy, who's just coming around the corner with some beer, and he just manages to... She almost falls over. You manage just to hold her.
Of course, I grab her, yes.
Yeah, and she looks up and sees you, and she's like, "Oh, this is a sight for sore eyes. Hello, and who might you be?"
Careful, lady, that you don't spill all the drinks.
No. There's more where this comes from. And then she kind of adjusts herself and adjusts her a very well sitting cleavage and looks up to you and kind of gives you the eye and says, "If there's anything I can bring you, dear sir, let me know. If you're with this group here, I already brought you an ale, but I can anything else you just..." And she kind of gives you a wink and adjusts her hair again and walks off, fully ignoring that she wanted to come and talk with the group and tell them where Butterbur was. She's just like, "Oh boy, what a man," and she's off again while you sit down.
Yeah, as you sit down, I ask...
Food would have been nice, but okay.
I ask, so how's the wife and kids?
What?
Well,
you're married? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I meant your horse, silly.
The wife and kids.
My horse is fine. Yes.
Was
taken good care of.
And I kind of like lead in a little bit both to him and also Inga. Is anybody of you, as you were making your way into Breeland, has anybody of you had the feeling that they were being followed? Or somebody
to Breeland.
Or somebody who might be looking for you. We have a couple of curious eyes on our group tonight, so we best pay a little attention on what we say and what we do. We don't want to...
Yeah, that might be good. Do you know, are rangers known for dress up?
Not the ones I've met so far.
Hmm.
And I've met quite a few, but still. But that fella in the corner is definitely giving off a strange feeling.
As you look over to the strange fellow, and all of you are looking at him, he all of a sudden feels like, he's being watched, and pulls down his hood even closer, and kind of sucks more on his pipe, and adjusts it, and it looks like he's adjusting as if he would be adjusting a sword or something, but you don't see that he's armed. It's just kind of
There's
once
also
again
there's also no
playing.
ruler, house ruler, or anything in the Prancing Pony. I'm guessing we all have our weapons with us,
You have your weapons
just
with you.
as the other guy has his axe and stuff.
Yeah, like you said, that you have the guy who just nodded to Fulgrim coming in. He just also has his axe leaning next to him, and it might be after, if you remember what Barley was talking about
The troll guy.
some guy called Harry, who was telling a story about killing a troll and something. And you notice that these three characters, the weird looking halfling, the man with the axe, and also this the farmer with his drink, and also the strange fondly dressed ranger, they're not participating in any of the games. Every once in a while, a hobbit will stand up and will say something. Then there'll be someone who tries a riddle, and people are trying to do riddles, and people are entertaining themselves. And these are the only ones. The farmer who's sitting there just seems to be more or less. You see once in a while that Daisy comes by, kind of pats him on his shoulder and goes through his hair, and kind of like it looks like she's comforting him, and puts down another ale for him, and he seems to be just kind of by drowning his sorrows. And the other guys, Harry seems to be really, well, Harry, or the guy which you think it might be this Harry, he seems to be really relaxed. He's just sitting there looking at everything, and those other two, they're just suspicious.
Well, I'm still gonna look around to see if I see Butterbur somewhere roaming around the place, and maybe just give him a sign to maybe join us on the table if he has the time.
After a short while, Daisy comes back and she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't forget you, but I tell you, oh Barnabas, now he's upstairs helping this couple which just came from Staddle, because somehow their bed doesn't fit, and he has to make sure. I'm sorry, he probably won't be down to the common room for some time. But he said if there's any information I can give you, just let me know. I know I take care of a lot of old Barnabas's business, because he trusts me a lot with his paperwork, and I also count up all the evening's shares of the sales. So maybe I can help you. If there's something I can help you with, let me know."
Well, Miss Daisy, the only question on my mind right now would be simply, have you heard of any tales of dangers in Breelands? Is anything that might spike the interest of wanderers such as ourselves? If you always hear of people disappearing, or maybe some ambushes here and then, but it would still be quite a rare occasion, would it not?
Well, let me see. There are a few tales, she says, and come to think about it, that ever since old Hayward over there, and she points over to this large farmer, he said that he'd been having trouble at the farm, and that their animals have been missing, and it seems like either something is stealing them, he does not know, and he's missing a lot of business. And he, ever since he's been here the last few days, it's kind of weird that the quiet one, as we call him, he's always here, and he's always watching, and it looks like he's waiting for people to come. And and he's been ever here ever since that old Harry said that he's been having problem at the farm, and well, um, Farmer Hayward and old Harry. Sorry, wrong one. Hayward, not Harry. And Harry, by the way, and she points over to the man with the axe. Ooh, he told me a story that'll chill your bones. He said, and he always walks the woods. He says he killed himself a troll. He killed him, really killed him dead. And he says that he's even had the head of the troll put up somewhere. I mean, I'd never been there. He always wants to take me out for a date, but I don't know. I don't trust old Harry. He's a bit too old for me, anyways. But then he kind of looks over to our Rohirrim friend. But you're more my type. You seem to be you're still young and not quite as a beardy old fellow like old Harry over there. And she kind of giggles. And yeah, and of course, then she looks over to the halfling. Yeah, that over there, that's Matthew Mugwort. You want to stay away from him. He's a shifty fellow. They say he has a lots of friends that live up east, and I don't know. He's always if there's something wrong in town, he always knows about it, and he seems to be. I don't know. There's always a negative feeling about this guy, but yeah, that's about all. That's about all that I've heard in the last couple of days.
So no particular increase of any sightings in particular regarding orc?
Ooh, well, orcs. Now, if you say that, Harry's the one who's met, and he's also killed himself, goblins and orcs, because you might call him something like a forestry master. He takes care of all the forests up in Archet. And so, of course, he's got himself once or twice, and says in the last couple of times there's more orcs coming around, and that's why he said all of a sudden he's got himself a troll. There were never trolls in this countryside, but he caught himself a troll and killed it before it killed one of his ponies. I tell you, it is getting a little bit strange that all these things are getting closer, but here in Bree, nah. Once in a while we'll catch an oakman or a goblin or two maybe trying to steal into the town, but and I think Farmer Hayward thinks he might have seen a goblin or so, and that might be what's stealing some of his animals. But I don't know. You might have to talk with him. But I'd hurry up before he gets too deep into his drink. He's had about 5 ales already.
Oh boy.
And she points over to the farmer.
All right, well, thank you very much, Daisy.
I'll be right back. I have to turn on the light. I can't see anything. Lord, it's the Lawmaster magically
Turns on the light.
illuminates a candle. And
Well, what do
you hear his voice come back.
What do
He
you
has a
folks
candle
think?
lit.
Well, do you believe this story about the troll?
Well, I've seen a couple of peculiar things throughout the years. I mean, trolls don't happen all that often. It is a rather rare occasion, but perhaps it might be worth talking to him about this. I myself am particularly tasked with watching out for any kind of increase in orc activity.
I need the youngest of the group, our lady, to roll a perception roll.
To Inga.
Inga.
Ooh,
What
I'm
Inga
super
sees.
bad at perception, but I
Well,
rolled
what-
a 19, so
that's good.
that's a
That's
20 in total.
Yeah. As the other two are talking, you kind of see that this little halfling who's been eyeing you and almost licking his lips kind of brushes himself off, gets up, and he's trying to get past, because to get outside he has to pass your table, and he's trying to kind of sneak by your table, keeping his eyes on you, and of course especially on your armed patrons that are with you.
I'm gonna check my pockets and hide everything that can be stolen and watch him really closely.
Yeah, he comes by. He just kind of gives you a grin. It's kind of not very. He seems to be missing one or two teeth, and as he passes by close, he kind of has a stench to him, which is not very nice. He kind of smells like he's been sleeping in barns or
So
something.
once he's like close enough within earshot, I immediately like turn around like my visage towards him and just say, "Keep your distance, mugwort. We're not looking for any business with you. Search elsewhere."
No. And he kind of looks and he's absolutely puts on the visage of the most helpless, innocent person that you've ever seen, and he says, in a kind of squeaky voice, "Me? Well, first of all, how do you know my name's Mugwort? I'm not a Mugwort. I'm a Bolty lass, from Upshire, from Hobbiton. Yeah, that's me. I'm a Bolty lass from Hobbiton. That's me. I'm not a Mugwort. No. You must be wrong. And I've never done anything wrong. No.
Well, whatever you are, if you pest us any further, maybe mugwort is all that's going to be left of you. So search elsewhere. We have no interest in any dealings with you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Look at this. Ooh, the high and mighty rangers. You always have big talk for us little folk. We never do anything, and you're always here. Troublesome outlaws, a lot of them, I tell you that, you know? And he kind of, he doesn't really spit towards you, but he just kind of gives you like a nod of disgust. Yeah.
Yeah, I just turn around and ignore him.
Yeah. Daisy
just making sure he is actually like moving away.
Yeah, Daisy comes by and she kind of picks him up by the scruff of the neck and says, "Will you leave the patrons alone, Matthew? It's bad enough that you come here and stink up the place. Now get off of there. I'll tell you that. I'll send you out there and I have a good feeling to have Harry throw you out of the gates and have the Barrow Whites take care of you." And he just kind of gives her a smell. Barrow Whites. Nonsense about ghosts and all. Next thing you're going to say that, "Oh, Tom Bombadil's going to kind of get me and take me away on a flying ship." You're all cracked, every one of you. And he seems behind his pocket, it seems like there's like a folded cap of some kind. He puts it on his head and he says, "I'll be leaving. See you all tomorrow." Rangers. And he kind of wiggles out the front.
I want to look like for if there's been any reaction from the stranger, the quiet one in the corner.
He has been watching this at the same time, and he seems to be noting something down. You see him with a piece of coal, and something which might be a parchment, and he's kind of making notes or you see if he's writing something down. And when you were fighting with Mugwort, he really looked interested. And he kind of put down and as you see him doing that, he right away he hides it again and he looks away as if he's doing nothing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we just have a little chat with your ranger friend over there?
No, I would try to not become any more inconspicuous than we already are. Let me take care of him and stay here to see if he either leaves at some point or maybe he will wait for us to go to bed, but I will certainly not go to bed before I see him go somewhere, and I would maybe like to tail him.
While you're looking around, the man, which is probably Harry, stands up and stretches, and you see that he's a tall man. He's about
tall beard.
Easily. He's got a big, heavy beard to him, and he seems I think Daisy had told you, he has the garb of a forester. It's not a ranger, but he seems to be a forester. He has a thing, and let me give you a picture of him here that I can. Here we go. There he is. That's the kind of what you look like. He seems to have a small axe by his side, a large axe, which he kind of adjusts to his side, and it seems like he's looks like he's about to leave, but he walks towards you and looks down at your group, and in a deep voice he says, "Evening." And it's a deep voice, but it's also a friendly voice. It's not like he's a thing. He just says, "Harry's my name. I hunt beasts and game, and you look like you're a bunch of hunters yourself, with all those weapons you have on your backs. You know, can I join you?"
Of course, Master. Sit
Feel
down.
free, of course. The little innkeep told us a story about you. Maybe you want to elaborate on that.
Shed some truth on the tale.
Well, what what did the little innkeep say? And he lifts up a finger. Daisy right away sees that he's changed, and he says over, "Bring another round over here for my friends, Daisy. What are you drinking? You have ale, mead? I see some tea over here. Anybody having anything else?"
I'm good,
have
thank
a-
you
have
very
an ale.
much.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Just fill up the glasses. Fill up the glasses, Daisy. It's on me. You know, it's not all day that we get some interesting folk like this in Bree. And so he leans back, and he also protrudes out. Looks like a beautiful wooden pipe, which seems to be carved out of one piece, and it has like pine cones and things on it. And he puts in takes a little bit of pouch out and puts in some, looks like some pipe weed, and lights it. And he says, "Well," and exhaling a breath, "like I said, I hunt beasts and game, and I make sure that the forests up in Archet are taken well care of. And I've hunted all kinds of beasts in the last couple of times, and I tell you, it's getting weirder by the year. And I have a feeling that there's a strangest kind of, it used to be just big elk and bears and maybe a small swamp goblin or so. But I've had orcs lately. I've had goblins lately, and they're pestering through my woods. You know what? I even killed myself a troll last week."
So the rumors are true.
Oh, yes. I kept his head on a spike outside my door until my friggin' neighbors complained about the stench and the flies. I had to get rid of it, so I dumped it. But I tell you, there's been some weird things. And he points over to the farmer, and he says, "You know what? Old Hayward's been telling that something have been stealing his animals. And if I look in my woods too, there are the strangest. I've never used to find dead conies lying around, or birds. Sometimes it looks like whatever's killing these animals." And Hayward has told me the same thing. And he kind of leans in and almost whispers, "It's not for food, because these bodies aren't eaten. It's not like a fox or a wolf that'll eat something and you'll just find the bones. They seem to be drained. It's only the carcasses. I found a brace of dead conies and a dog, dry, like something had
So
sucked
it's
the
not-
life's blood."
Not killing for sport, you say, but actually something is draining these bodies?
Yes, it looks like there's not a life's blood left in him. And that's what old Hayward said too. He said that his animals have been being stolen. At the same time, once in a while, he'll find like either a chicken or even found a cat. And it seemed like something had just either ripped out its throat or slit the throat, and all the blood seems to be gone.
And you haven't
he-
seen anything like this in recent years?
No, I've had wolves. You know what? I've even had the wolves which come up from the mountains, these so-called wogs. I've had them before too. But usually I keep a good forest and I have no problems, and I let the hunters hunt and the prey be prey. Of course, I'm not mixing myself in with the nature. But this, if you ask me, this is not natural. This is something which is it's a unnatural thing having carcasses with old blood. And I told old Haywood, I don't have time to go hunting for such monsters on my own. I gotta keep my forest up. But he's over there crying in his beer, and he's offering a big reward. And between you and me, he's talked about jewels and gold and stuff, since he has friends in Rohan himself. And I see here, if I read my horses correct, you are a horse lord yourself, sir. And he needs to get his trade back up and running, because if he doesn't get his sales going and everything back, I'm afraid that old Hayward, he's gonna lose more than just, he'd probably be losing his mind soon. And he leans back and puffs more on his pipe, shaking his head like he's thinking about these dead bodies, which is he's just not used to seeing.
The dead carcasses, you say. Where, like, in what region have you found them? You say that you hail from a wood near Archet?
Yes, yes. I usually take care of the woods around Archet and Staddle, and there's been almost the first time I see this, it was deep down in the woods, and it was I'd say it's heralding somewhere from the east. It's the eastern parts where I've heard this, and and you know yourself, being a ranger and all, and I've had rangers and folks which I meet and talk with, and the rangers are great. They are the great help in all these times. And I think the folk of Bree don't really quite know how much help the Rangers are. But they also tell me that something seems to be afoot in the east. And I don't know. I'm just a man who takes care of the woods. But they've been all over the place. And even closer now to the old Hayward's farm, it seems to be almost like a trail leading into the wooded area from his farm.
Where is his farm located exactly?
Oh, his farm is right outside of Bree. So it's on the thing on the way. If you head towards Saddle, you'll find his farm right away. But that's him sitting over there crying in his beer. So if you want to talk with him, he'll probably tell you more about everything else. I'd love to help him, but I told him Harry Talltree ain't a warrior. I'm just a forester. I can take care of wolves and even, like I said, even a troll or two, but I can't go monster hunting. I have no idea what has been eating or killing these animals.
Well, maybe Inga, you being the most jovious of spirits amongst us, maybe you have the possibility to wake up our good farmer from his sorrow. Maybe motivate him, put a smile on his face, and find out if he has anything to say regarding these carcasses and his animals.
Yes, I would like to help. Okay, I can do that, sure. And I stand up and go over to him.
Okay, one moment. Let me give you a picture of how he looks, sitting there with his beer.
The poor farmer.
Poor farmer.
What's his
Wait,
name? I put down. Oh no, we don't have a. No, Hayward. That was it.
Wait a minute, something happened.
Hayward the farmer.
One moment here. Somehow I've got Clyde talking to me. I don't want to talk to Clyde. Why is Clyde talking to me?
Who's Clyde?
I don't know. Clyde, the official Discord, less news from blah, blah, blah. He doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he thinks that Farmer Hayward is a. He won't let me use it. Okay, maybe that. I had Farmer Hayward from the D&D books, but he won't. Clyde won't let me.
Maybe it's a weird file format or something.
Yeah, he says something about being a robot or something. Okay.
Oh, you're spamming too much, probably.
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
spamming too much. Too much spam. Okay, well then we'll do it without. So Inga, if you walk over to Mr. Hayward, he's a large man. He's got a friendly face, but he's a typical farmer. He's got big muscles, and he seems to be sitting at his sixth mug of ale. And you see that he's been crying. He has tears running these tracks which run down his ruddy face, where he's been probably crying for some time. And as you approach him, he kind of looks up, and you see red eyes, and he says, "Oh, what can I help you with, girl?
Hello.
I'm not much of a help these days. I'm sorry, I can't sing you a song, and I don't want to play any games."
Oh, that's fine. May I sit?
Oh, if you want to sit with sorrow, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
sit down.
Yeah,
Why are you so sad?
Oh, well, my name is Hayward. I'm a farmer, and until a few weeks ago, trade was my life. Damn unlucky times we have. At least I am. You know, I got thieves. Strange thieves that have been stealing my wares. They've been killing my chickens, my pigs. I even lost a ram. And my two sheep, Dolly and Molly, just 2 days ago. They took away a mule, my good old mule Warren. My two ponies, Billy and Bob. And even a horse, my good Gabriel. Oh, he was such a fine animal. I traded with a Marshal Rohan for barrels of barley and wine. By the way, that's my biggest problem. I'm a trader. I trade wares from Bree, and I trade animals and food and everything, so that the Rohirrim, sometimes they'll bring horses and they'll bring green wares and stuff from their land, and we trade back and forth for barrels of barley and wine. But ever since this has been going on, I've been losing everything. Everything. Something has been stealing me blind.
That's really sad to hear. How can I help? What do you think does all that to you?
I don't know. You know, I got no more watchdog. Whoever or whatever's been doing the stealing must have scared old Yeller off. I haven't seen him in days. And you know what? To make things worse, whoever is doing this, they leave open the pens and gates, and every time that I get half of my animals together, then in the night, they take off again. The ones I can't catch, either the wolves get or even worse things. I have found some of my animals gathered around. I've never seen something like this. This is not a wolf or a fox or something. It seems their throats writ and all the blood drained of them. I've never seen. Sometimes it looks like their throats have been cut, but I've never found any of the stolen ones. They all take off and gone. You can ask old Harry Talltree over there from Archet and Staddle. He said he found some, and he kind of gets real quiet. Bloody rests of whatever left after they got him. Just bloody rests and pieces of meat and empty carcasses. I know. You know what? What I really need is someone to find out about these doings on. But I can't do it. I'm just a farmer. I don't know how to wield. I can wield an axe for chopping, but I can't wield a sword.
Well, I can. I can help you. Yes, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, I see you have a big sword on your side there, young lady, but can you even lift that? Do you know how to use it? I'm not being fresh or something, but I see you've come. Are you somewhat of adventurers or something, the three of you? And he points over to the other two at the table who are talking with Harry.
Well, I just bet them, but maybe they will help too. But I will help you.
Huh? Well, I'm not a rich man, I can tell you that, but I can offer you some Rohirrim gold I've gotten from my last patrons, and I see over there and I recognize the shield. And if that really is a man from the Rittermark, I have traded with King Thangel himself. He trades with me. I've had horses, and we've given back gold and barley and wine. It's been a great few years that we've traded back and forth. But I can't send him anything this year. Everything is gone. And he kind of looks over and, I don't know. Do you think your friends will talk with me?
Well, sure. Let's just go over and ask them if they will help too.
Okay, and so you walk over. Harry sees approaching. He just kind of raps on the table and says, "Okay, I've got to head out again. If you'll be here tomorrow, I'm gonna have an early night's sleep. I'll be here for breakfast if you want to talk. But here's my old friend Hayward." And he looks over to Hayward and says, "Hayward, come on now. Stop drinking. That's not gonna change anything. You have to get your wits. Maybe these folks will help you. They seem to be the warrior type." And he kind of pats on Hayward, and Hayward sits down on where Harry has been sitting, and kind of looks at you with big sad eyes and says, "I heard you're warriors?"
We're gonna help him, right?
Well, it's more or less. I'm
slow down first.
dependent. Well, I am
When are you
tasked
gonna
with.
help him?
Oh, I know. No one's gonna help me. There's no chance in hell.
No,
No
of
one's
course.
gonna go after killers and bloodletters and things like that.
Of
But
course,
and he
good
looks
sir,
over.
That's what usually I do for a living, keep these lands safe, and it is obvious that something has been prowling and stalking these lands, which is apparently not supposed to. So I will, at the least, look into the matter.
I recognize you have the bearings of the Dunedain Ranger, and if I might drop a name of someone which I've met here very often, who has often came and had barley for the Dunedain Rangers, ending that was Hallas the Ranger. He's been here before, and you might know Hallas the Ranger if you're from the Dunedain Rangers.
I do, yes. When was the last time that you've contacted Hallas, or when have you seen him or met him
Ooh,
last?
Hallas hasn't been here for almost. The last time I saw him was over half a year ago, and back then I was still stocked. I was able to give him skins of wine for the Rangers. I was able to give him barley and hops for the Dunedain. I even had a few horses which I had traded with the Rohirrim, which I was able to give for the Dunedain. But now I haven't seen him since, and
Well, it does
I've
seem
tr-
that fate maybe smiles upon you this evening then, Hayward, because indeed I was sent by Hallas to scout out what is going on. So I
blessed
will have a look
be.
into your affairs.
blessed
Yeah, I
be. he
told you
says.
they will help you.
Oh, and once again he wipes tears from his eyes, and he looks over to the dark Rohirrim and says, "King Thangel himself once sent me." And he looks and he takes out from his pouch, and you see it's a coin with a horse on it, a gold coin, which is typical for the coins of Meduseld, which are only given if you know, like, this is something which is almost, it's not more of a medal than a coin. And he said, "The last time that I traded barley and vegetables fresh, I got this from the marshal which came, and he said that King Thangel himself said that he liked to trade with us." And he shows you this coin. "If you're from the Rittermark, you'll recognize this. So I am a friend, and I only do good. So I don't know who is doing this to me." And he starts to cry again.
Oh no, no crying, stop it, and I pat his back.
Yeah, he kind of sobs and looks up and I told this young lady here, I'm not rich, but I have back at home from King Thangel himself, when he sent that last shipment, I still have a a little bit of Rohirrim gold. I can give you. I still have some mead, and uh, I can only say that um, I can give you what I have as for your help. For as no treasures, but what I have is yours. If you can help me end this nightmare.
Well, if you are a friend of King Thengel, I don't require any payment.
Oh, I tell you what, and he looked over and he grabs one of your ales since he doesn't have any and kind of lifts it up and said, I drink to the Lord of Meduseld, to King Thengel, and oh, may the horns of his mead always be sweet, and his stew always be spicy, and may I find the murderers of my poor animals. And he starts crying again.
I pat his back again.
I think, Haywood, this has been a long night for all of us, and we might do best to seek some sleep and reconvene in the morning. And you could maybe show us your estate, or lead us there for us
all
to
of
to
all
have
of a
look.
sudden he seems to as if as if as if he just all of a sudden all his sadness is gone and he has a real keen blink in his eye and a glint in his eye, and as if he's never been drinking, really sober, he looks at Juan and says, that's the thing. The thing that comes at night. If you want to catch or see whatever happens, we're not going to catch it during the day. This damn thing always comes at night. That's why I've been sitting here for a few nights over. I haven't been at home in the last few nights. I'm afraid to go home because I'm afraid that my hen houses are empty and that my pigs are gone because I don't know, maybe the thing, whatever it is, will come for me next. I'll be a bloody carcass. So
Well,
I'm
how
afraid that
long would we have to travel from here to your farm? Because
my
the night
farm
is
is right.
already progressing pretty far.
Oh, I can show you to my farm. That's the easiest thing. You know, it's right outside the empty gate. I'll talk with Harry. He'll let me out. He always does. Or maybe old Tad, maybe little Tad's out there tonight, and he'll be able to take us. He'll take it out. It's still early enough. We can go to my before the strike of midnight. We'll be at my farm. That's no problem. But that's no problem whatsoever. It's just a few minutes walk from here.
Well, I look at the others to see if they are inclined to move out in the same night still.
Well, I wouldn't mind having a look. We warmed up quite nicely in here. Had a little food and a drink.
Well, then I'd say all of you go ahead and wait outside across the street for me. I want to see if our strange, quiet friend makes any movement in terms of maybe following you out. And if not, I'll meet you in 5 to 10 minutes at the gate.
Oh, and Harry and Hayward looks over to you and says, "What strange friend? The quiet one over there.
Aye.
Oh, he's
Do you
he's
know him?
harmless. He's harmless. I think he's an actor. I don't know. He always puts on a show. He thinks he's a ranger, but look at him. He's never seen the mud puddle than a forest party. I have no idea what his game is, but he's been here the last few nights, and he always scribbling on his parchment, drinks one ale, and then he leaves again. And I have no idea what his story is.
Do you know
But I
at
think,
what time he usually leaves?
well, usually before the stroke of midnight, because, and I really don't know. He must be living here somewhere or staying with someone, because he doesn't stay at the inn. He doesn't stay at the inn. Old Butterbird's got a room for me, because usually I have too much drink and I go home, and, I live alone anyway, so no one's waiting for me at home, and I only got the carcasses there waiting. I don't want to see them. So, but that quiet one over there, and as you're talking amongst yourselves, you see that the quiet one, once again, he doesn't quite know what to do, and he's kind of gets up. He's brushing himself off, and then you can see that the ranger cloak that he has, it's been made out of probably of a green blanket or something, and you see it's not really a ranger's cloak. It's and he gets up and he slowly heads towards the door, trying to slip past you guys.
Well, I'll let him slip.
Yeah.
Yep. He slips past and heads out the door and is gone.
Do we try and follow him, Yorith?
I would be inclined to before heading out to the estate, just to see. No matter what everybody says, I know when I don't trust someone as soon as I see them, and that usually isn't a good feeling to have.
There is something off about that fellow, I agree.
Hayward looks down into his pocket and kind of fumbles, since he has been drinking, and pulls out a large key, and he says, "If no matter if it's Harry or Tad, go out the main gate and don't head down the main road which heads out towards the forest. Go to the right, around the corner, and you'll see a farmstead. This is my key. I have to get to my bed. I don't want to go there. I'm afraid what I'll find. I'm a coward. I'm sorry, but they'll tell Harry or Tad that you'll be leaving and coming back, and they'll if he shows you my key, there's no one, and he shows the key. The key has there's like a pig on one side in brass, and on the other side there's the head of a sheep. So it's a very seldom key you wouldn't see anywhere else. Mm-hmm. He'll recognize this, and he just kind of slumps back down, and Daisy comes over and says, "Okay, that's enough now, Hayward. You're not going home. You're gonna go to bed now. Bali has everything ready for you. You just head up and go to bed. And no more drinking like this tonight." And she kind of lifts him up heavily and says, "Are you going to help him?"
Yes.
Of course we are.
Excuse our, or at least my briskfulness, but I'll already make. I'm gonna make my way to the door because I don't want to miss the guy.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah.
I follow Yorith.
You go ahead and help her. I'll get Harry up into his bed, and no problem. And I'll probably see you all in the morning for breakfast then.
We'll be
Come
back
on,
before
Hayward.
dawn.
Here we go, Hayward. You're just one step in front of the other. And then you just hear him kind of mumbling, "These are my friends. They're going to help me. They're going to help me find that thing. Yes, I tell you." And they kind of go out towards that thing. And you head out towards the door, and you just see heading around, about towards where the stables were. You'll remember where I went to the stables. You see a little flap of that green cloak just kind of go around the corner. So you see that the little quiet one has flipped around the corner.
Should we flank him behind the stable somehow around the building?
We can try that.
When you go ahead, I'm not very stealthy, and I cloink in my, I don't know, chainmail? So ringmail? Something like that.
Yeah.
The plate armor.
Fulgrim will remember that it's a dead end. There's only the stables back there. So whatever he's got, whatever that guy is trying to do, he's heading back there into a dead end. So it's either he's trying to hide or he's trying to get into something. So he's
then we'll slowly but surely, stealthily follow him to see what he's doing there.
I'll keep my hands next to my daggers, though.
Yeah.
And I stay a little behind because I'm loud.
Yorith, I want you to roll a perception.
Perception.
Yeah, to see what you see.
Mm-hmm. That's only a 9.
Okay. In the mud, because you see in the moonlight and some of the lanterns, there's still lanterns lit back here because the horses, they don't want to have the horses standing in the dark. You see footsteps leading to the stables, and but not towards the horses. It's more towards the area where the hay is being kept. You see pretty fresh footsteps. So probably these were made by this
maybe
by the
it's
stranger.
a freeloader.
But his clothes are too clean for that.
Well, then we'll slowly but surely just like walk closer into the stable area to see if we like spot anything.
Who has the highest sight? No. That's no. I think no. Don't worry about it. Yeah, as you get closer, you hear the typical sound of someone shifting their weight in mud. It's kind of like a, muddy thing, and it's behind a pile of hay. And you seem to see in the glint of the lamplight a little bit of this green cloak. So it looks like probably something or someone is hiding behind there.
We're not planning to hurt you if that's why you're hiding from us.
And you kind of hear a not like a swallow, but kind of like a well, a very an overreaction. He kind of jumps up, and you see that is this quiet one. He kind of stands there like almost like a hero pose, and saying, "Well, it would better for you not to. I'm a ranger. I'm a ranger of the Dunadan." Yes, I'm a Dunadan ranger. Yes, that's me. They call me Brago.
Oh, so you're one of these folks that walk the lands of the Perianath, then?
Yes. Oh, I know the land of the Perianath like the back of my hand. I'm a great knower of the land, and he just kind of.
What kind of like region down there, or what village are you mostly like stationed to? Because as you know, of course, Dunedain Rangers, they have very strict regions to protect that they wander, and they do not venture outside.
Oh yes, and I see that that you are one of us. Yes, you know that we patrol everything. We make sure that the lands of Bree and of the down by the Shire, that everything is safe. We keep it safe, and I'm mostly up by Archit there, and sometimes I take care of Staddle. Yeah, and he just kind of seems to be making it up as long. You notice right away he's full of shit. He's just making things up along.
Then I just say,
and you see even in the moonlight and the lantern light that this cloak that's made must have been an old bed sometime. His so-called Dunedain boots are just plain old thing, and he's instead of leather, he just has like cloth stuck on top to make it look like a boot. It looks like a very bad actor, and he's putting on. So he's definitely not a ranger. You can see that.
Yeah. Well, then I'll just say, well, I bid you farewell and stay safe on your ventures.
Oh yes, you too. I have to head out. I have to have a wagon load of silk. I have a wagon load of orphans. I have to bring to Archit the first thing in the morning. Yes.
And I just roll my eyes at Fulgrim and walk away.
Yes. May the gods of the woods be with you, and yes, and yes, and he just kind of mumbles to himself.
But if you are I'm
you're gonna stay there, yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep back and disappear in the dark and just
if you are
watch
a
them.
ranger, Why are you hiding from us?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to?
You're talking to me?
protect the villages?
He was hoping, of course, that you would also be leaving, and he says, yes, yeah. So you know, the best work is done in hiding. We rangers, we hide a lot, and I thought maybe I would be protecting the horses. Yes, because horses are important. You know that. And matter of fact, boy, look at the time. I believe I think I left my sword and everything at old Butterbur's. I think I might have to. And he kind of tries to get past you.
Yeah, I'll step into his way and put on my grimmest face. Did you touch my horse?
He looks absolutely pale, and you almost believe that you hear and smell him wetting himself. Sir, I'm so sorry. He just absolutely breaks down. I'm so sorry. I've never touched a horse. I don't like horses. I mean, I like your horses. No, not your horse, but I like horses and the horse boys. Oh, not the horse boy. Oh Lord, the Rohani men. Yeah, you know those. And oh no, I never touched a horse. I like little girls. No, not little girls. Oh Lord, and he's just absolutely afraid, and he just says, "My name's Adam. I'm a smuggler. I was watching you because I'm looking for warriors to protect the wagon load of silks and cloth I'm supposed to bring to Archit. And I'm a coward. I don't know. I don't even have a weapon. I don't know what to do. And I thought if I act like a ranger, I might meet other rangers and something, but I just
how has that been working out for you?
I'm acting really surprised. So
she's
you're
back?
not a ranger? You're
come from?
No, I just say that out of the dark and like on the side, standing on like the edge of the building.
You're not a ranger?
No, I'm a smuggler. I'm Adam the smuggler. We try to get things from back and forth between Archit and Staddle, but I tell you, there's been things going on up there in the woods. I'm afraid to go back in there. I mean, there's been dead beasts going along, and
hold on.
Terry
Joris?
said
Joris?
Yes.
Oh shoot! What's I forgot the little girl's name.
Inga.
Inga?
Inga, yes. Could you come in here for a second, please?
Sure. What's going on?
Our friend here has some interesting tales to tell, maybe about the forest.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say interesting tales. I would just say, I've
Speak
been
and be
to
quick
the
about it.
forest.
We have somewhere to be.
Yes, well, I'll put it down straight. I've been to the forest. I've been to the forest very often, but I don't go there anymore because there are strange things going in. First of all, there's bandits, and they steal my cloths on the way from Archit
You
to
mean
Staddle.
other smugglers?
No, these are bandits. I tried to smuggle. I'm more of a, what could I say? I'm a tradesman. You know, I just try to get more things past the authorities than maybe allowed. That's why I might be called a smuggler.
So you
But I'm
haven't
just in the trade.
You haven't wet your blade yet, then, Adam? Adam, was it?
Oh, yeah, I'm Adam. Adam Moleskin is my name. I'm from Archit. I'm 28 summers old. Since he's just like he's being interrogated, and I'm not married, and I don't have a blade to wet. I have a club which I sometimes use to ward off, but I can't do anything.
This is like a D&D club.
I tell you, I have seen the strangest things. I'm not going towards those things anymore. I'm not going towards those woods anymore. I've seen dead animals lying around, and last couple of days I've heard that Hayward, old farmer Hayward, you talking to, he said that something has been killing his animals, And so
Are you
I don't
talking
know
about
what-
the chatwood or any particular of the woods?
well, the Chetwood and the woods up by Archet and Staddle. Anyways, would you head down? If you head down south, that's where these things have been. And old Harry, he's been telling stories about trolls coming by and things like that. And he's killed himself a troll too. And but I I I don't know if you be I don't know if you if you would go with me, I'd go to the woods, yes, but I wouldn't go into the woods, but maybe I overheard a little bit something. That's I wrote it down what I hear, and I try to get information is what I do. And I heard that maybe Hayward might be giving a gold piece or two for some help. So maybe that would be good for you. And in the meantime, I'll just keep to my business. And talking with him, you find out he's an absolute useless waste of time. He's a wannabe who's just he's a coward.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really know much. The only thing is that the stories that he's telling seems to put down
Just confirm
the
what
truth,
the others
to confirm that the others are saying that something has been killing and draining blood of animals.
Yeah, no, we have somewhere else to be.
Oh, of course. Same here. You'll excuse me. And he just kind of nods to both of you, looking, hoping that you're not going to stop him, and he runs off.
Yeah, I
Try
let him
to like drop him, like putting a foot in his way.
You try to trip him?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a. Yeah, roll a. Yeah, you know what? Just roll a 1d6, and anything higher than a 2, you'll trip him.
I've got a 2.
You got a 2? Well, then he just jumps over, turns around and says, "No, little girl, that's not good manners," and keeps running away, and heads off.
And Inga starts to rage and destroys Bree.
Yeah, it destroys Bree. So you're standing next to the horses, which are very happy and very content, and they're being fed and trying to get some sleep now with all this talk going on.
We were on our way to the gate.
And if you're going onto the gate, yeah, so you remember your way from the gate. It's the same gate, of course.
Yeah, and we have the key as well.
Yeah. And as you approach the gate, you see young Tad coming out and said, Oh, you leaving again? I thought you were going to stay at the Prancing Pony.
What do you mean? Have we met before?
Yeah, of course. I remember you, Rohirrim Warrior, and this cute lady. Remember? It's me,
Hi,
Tad.
Tad.
Hi. Inga, and he kind of blushes. Are you leaving again? He repeats himself again.
We just have somewhere to be. Taking a last night walk, so to speak. Taking in the night air, but we will be back, and I show him the key as well. We're doing something for Hayward.
Oh, that's Hayward's key. Are you gonna go? Oh, are you gonna go check on, the story that he's been telling about?
Perhaps don't concern yourself with these dark thoughts, lad.
Oh, no concern. I have to hear. I have gate duties. Oh, Harry, if I don't keep my gate. But you know what? I'll keep my eyes out for you. If you come back, I'll let you back in, because you probably won't be staying at Hayward's.
No, we are planning to return before dawn, so...
Oh, okay.
Keep awake.
Okay. Yeah. I have my post here. I tell you that. No problem. I'll keep an eye open for you. And he kind of sets himself upward with his halberd, looking very important. Like the great guardsman that he is, and Oh, wait a minute, I have to open the latch. Forgot about that. And he opens up the latch and lets you out. Okay, I'll probably see you all later. And he closes the gate behind you. Oh, by the way, Hayward's, just take a right here. Not where you came from, so the other way down. And you'll see the farm. It's right near the hedge.
All right. Stay vigilant, Tad.
Oh, I will. I will, madam. I will.
And then I rush out.
Okay, so you see, while you head out, it's just around the hedge. If you walk, you see Hayward's farm, which is right there at the edge of Bree, and it's a nice little farm. There's a hen house and a barn and something which you might call the master's house, but there's no lights on or anything because there doesn't seem anybody to be there since Hayward is the only one. You only hear a few clucking of chickens, and there's not seems to be much animals thing around, but all around the area, everyone near here and there, you'll see like some feathers which are a little bit bloody. You'll see in one corner there looks like it might have been a dove, which is just just a dead bird lying there.
Yeah,
And
I definitely draw my sword and just say to the others, stay watchful. And
I take out my
stay
shield.
quiet
I'll
as
get
well.
my bow ready.
Yeah. If you remember that Hayward had said that it always comes towards the hen house, and if you see where the hens were, there's like a little barn, which is there. The door is half open, and the hen house you see is just where hens are sitting. In. You see maybe about 5 or 6 hens sitting there on their nests.
Yeah, actually, I would like to light a torch as well in one hand.
Okay.
So torch and longsword in hand to have some light.
Yeah, because the moon is the only light you have. It's a nice full moon, lighting everything in kind of a pale blue, so you're not quite in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But the torchlight, of course, gives you a better sight. You see, next to the hen house, there looks like it could be like a small encagement where there's about 5 or 6 rabbits are in there. There's behind that is a larger yard where you see one cow standing there. There might be more in a stable which is behind it. And but that's about it on animals. It doesn't look like there's too many animals. There's a pigsty which is right next to the other animals, but there's no pigs in there. It's just an empty sty. And and the barn and then there's the barnyard where there's all the hay and stuff, and this seems to be open, or there's like a crack, like a crack open where and that's about it. And of course the house itself, which is a little further down a path where the farmer probably lives, but everything's dark there.
Could we hide in the barn, maybe?
I would like to first have a look in the barn if there's anything inside already.
Okay, sure.
Okay, roll a perception roll for looking at the barn. And are you entering with your burning torch?
Yeah, I'm approaching the barn with the burning torch.
Okay, you're approaching the barn with the burning torch. Okay, but you're not going in the barn with the burning torch.
Not yet. No, I want to see if I can peer inside with the half open door. That's a 13 for me.
Okay. Anybody else looking inside?
Sure.
Listening.
Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anything. It's absolutely quiet.
It's eerily quiet.
And it's eerily quiet. No, it's just you hear the typical sounds of crickets chirping and stuff like that. But it's not a magical eerie quiet. It's just quiet. There's nothing there at the moment. If you look inside, it's a typical barn full of hay. Seems to be where the fodder is being kept. To one side, there's a few of sacks of grain and 2 or 3 sacks of. It looks like it's empty. Looks like they have been slit, where grain, where there's some grain left, and almost like a trail leading out the door, and then it just empties. So it looks like somebody has taken grain away.
Well, what
either
beast?
either to feed or something. Maybe
What
maybe
beast
this
drinks
was
blood and eats grain?
and but that's about it. There's a few casks which you might think might be maybe an oil or water in it. One could be a cask of ale. It just seems to be like the farm. It's just kind of like the farmers provisions are there, but the door, if there had been a lock on it, there is no lock on it anymore. It just stands half open. But that's it. There's nothing, no sign of life. There's nothing else in there.
Okay.
Except the provisions, the dirty ground and hay, bales of hay. So I'd be careful with your torch.
Well, if we're certain that there's nothing inside the barn, then I don't know if the rest of you want to like lay low and wait to see if
Seems
anything
like a plan.
approaches.
Yeah.
I've
I'll
got a hooded
extinguish-
lantern. If you want to use that instead of the torch.
Well, yes,
That's
that
good.
definitely makes sense. Then I'll extinguish the torch and we can like turn on the lantern and just place that with us in the barn and put the hood on.
Well, that's good. So you're gonna lay low, more or less, for the night, or wait there to see if something happens.
Maybe
or something.
take turns.
Take-
Like if
turns.
nothing happens in the next 20 minutes, then I'm guessing we are bedding down for the night
Yeah.
and taking
Yeah.
turns.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I want to
looking at
pick some grass and feed the bunnies before we go in.
Okay. Yeah, you might want to take a handful of that grain too. They seem to think they might like that too. It looks like it's kind of
Now that's
so-
unhealthy. They get fat.
okay, and yeah, while you lay down and lay low, before we continue on, it's 10 after 9. Do you want to continue this night, or should we stop here for the night?
We can stop
can-
for today if you guys want to.
Stop,
Yeah.
because then we'll stop for today before the events of the night occur, I might say, or if something occurs.
All right.
Might be a good place to stop here. So, as Loris the Lore Master, once again, was not much action. The action will be coming. I can only say this to the listeners and also to my players. You've met a lot of people today. You've heard a lot of stories. The stage has been set, I would say, and so I hope you're not missing a lot of what we usually with D&D. There's a lot of action right away and rolling and fighting and yeah, this is more of the adventures in Middle Earth. They spin a long tale until something happens.
So interesting
but-
because Branwolf always wants to fight and hates role playing
Yes.
encounter.
Yeah.
I know. My character would go crazy. I would have killed everything by now. Usually, Branwolf, but this is a thing. But
Well, right before we come to a close, since
Yes.
my mic wasn't working in the beginning, here.
oh, please again,
A
yes.
quick plug again. We're currently running our giveaway on Instagram together with Geek and Fox. We've printed out a beautiful 75mm Frost Dragon for our 1-year anniversary in our ongoing Icewind Dale campaign. That's currently going over on in our main campaign. with Slanted dice. So to take part and win the beast, just head on over to our Instagram at Slanted Dice, and you'll find everything on there. And it's a beautiful, beautiful miniature. And she does some really great, Geek and Fox does some really great work with getting out all of the details of these curiously printed miniature prints. So yeah, check us out over there, and you'll find all the info on there.
Okay, and for the rest of you that want to be following the adventures of the Middle-earth campaign, our next episode, episode 3, called Blood in Hiding, A Night at the Farm, will be heard in 2 weeks, I believe, if I may ask
likely
the DM.
in 2
Yes.
weeks, because next week we're going to continue with our normal campaign again.
Yes.
And then we will return to Middle-earth the week after, most likely. If there's any
Yeah,
change
so-
in like plans, just have a look at our Instagram as well, because we usually communicate it all through there.
Well, I hope this was entertaining. I hope that it's still of interest to all the others that have tuned in, and also to my players that are used to different storylines in D&D. And then Loris the Lore Master says, I await you with bated breath in 2 weeks' time, and we will then see the truth behind the stories of Master Hayward and the rest at Bree.
All right. Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
one and all.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.